is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We take a look at how LA came together to spread awareness.
A Colombia student held by U.S. immigration agents is released, but his fight for freedom is far from over.
One USC student loses his job after NIH cuts, leading to a change in his career path. All that and more coming up on ATVN.
Annenberg TV News is next.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, with survivors and victims from all over the world showing their support. Hi, I'm Sebastian Soto.
And I'm Daniella Lake. Today, a global campaign known as Denim Day raises awareness about sexual violence and victim blaming.
Strike! Strike! Kick! 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 Kick!
Today marks LA's 26th annual Denim Day, remembering the 1992 decision by the Italian Supreme Court to overturn a rape conviction because the victim wore tight jeans.
It's such a huge city, and having the resources to help a lot of different survivors is super essential, especially in times like this.
I think it's a great addition. I think I work with LA County as well, and I think that's something that a group that was needed in the community, and I'm glad that they are now putting more efforts into making a bigger impact.
According to a study, 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment and/or assault in their lifetime. LA County's district attorney spoke out today in support of survivors.
We're going to reestablish a principle that no is no, that victims needed to be supported, and that we are here to champion survivors. And through Patty and Peace Over Violence, it has grown today so that we don't have a denim defense anymore in the legal system. We have a denim offense right here, right now, and we have had it for the last 24 years.
L.A. City Councilwoman Heather Hutt added that all of us need to speak up. If you see something unusual, say something to stop it.
A Palestinian student at Columbia University, Mohsen Madawi, was released from a Vermont jail today. The pro-Palestinian activist was arrested during his citizenship interview a couple weeks ago.
There is no peace without justice. That's right! Yes, you might think I am free, but my freedom is interlinked to the freedom of many other students.
Madawi is one of the first students to be released after challenging his arrest. Several other college students from around the country have been arrested and detained since the beginning of the Trump administration, including Alireza Durudi, Mahmoud Khalil, and Rumeysa Öztürk. Madawi will be allowed to keep his permanent resident status in his home state of Vermont. The Supreme Court heard a case today that might change how the federal government engages with charter schools. Lucca, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Sebastian, and welcome to the last edition of Politics in Play. Today, conservative members of the Supreme Court remained open to allowing Oklahoma to approve the first ever religious public charter school in the nation. With Justice Amy Coney Barrett not participating in the vote on the legality of the religious school, there is a strong possibility of an even 4-4 split. This would leave all of the decision-making power at the state level, meaning the Oklahoma court would make the final ruling.
In this instance, 47 states and the District of Columbia have statutes that say effectively that charter schools are created by the state, funded by the state, overseen by the state, in every essence, every indicia of a governmental actor. And that's the position that the state of Oklahoma has taken. We'll see how the court rules on that.
Lawyers for the Oklahoma Charter Board are defending their client by arguing that outlawing the school violates the U.S. Constitution.
In this case today, the court was asked to decide a very simple question. The question is whether the state can create a program, invite private groups to participate, and tell religious groups and religious groups alone that they can't be a part of the program. The simple answer to that question is they can't do that because the First Amendment, specifically the Free Exercise Clause, protects the right of religious organizations to be treated equally with others.
This ruling could have broad implications for schools nationwide, as the line between government and religion is blurred. Well, that's all for the last Politics in Play. And signing off, I'm Lucca Chrysostomou.
On the 100th day of Trump's presidency, the White House posted what it claims are, quote, 100 days of hoaxes. The administration accused a long list of news outlets, public figures, and politicians of spreading, quote, fake news. The White House singled out CNN, the New York Times, NPR, and other outlets. We talked to an Annenberg professor about the possible impact of these complaints.
It is the White House attempt to try to do what the newspapers have been doing to him, which is when he makes a statement that's false, they'll say, this is what he said, and this is what the truth is. So they're trying to spin the story, to confuse the public as what is true and what isn't.
The White House list currently has a total of 57 alleged hoaxes.
The National Institute of Health is the biggest funder of biomedical research in the world. The Trump administration has cut more than $2 billion in NIH funding. Reporter Dana Hammerstrom looks at the impact.
James Nguyen is out of work. The USC senior used to work at a lab funded by the National Institutes of Health. He was laid off after the federal government froze NIH funding.
To put it quite frankly, I've been screwed over. After the freeze and I was let go, I found myself in kind of a limbo. Didn't know what to do, didn't know how to proceed.
James says he got into research because he wanted to help people on the largest scale. As a doctor, he would be helping one patient at a time. But as a researcher, his impact multiplies many times.
Research is probably our best shot at finding out how to cure Alzheimer's disease, or at the very least slow it down or prevent it, right? But if we freeze like this funding, a lot of labs that do focus on Alzheimer's disease, by the way, in NIH, we can't have those answers.
Over 1,200 employees have been fired from the NIH so far.
Maybe most importantly of all, we stop scientific progress. If you flip research on or off, like a light switch, it doesn't pick up where it started and move forward. You lose months or years or decades. And so there's no question that undermining the research enterprise impacts every person in the country.
Every person in the country is at risk. For Annenberg Media, I'm Dana Hammerstrom.
Coming up on ATVN, we take a look inside the world of wheelchair sports.
Coming up, we'll take you live from a protest down here in Korea outside the Philippine consulate.
And a look ahead to the weekend, Kat has our 5-day weather forecast after the break. USG election season has kicked off.
They have a huge game on Thursday, right?
Huge. Prior to that, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
And a warning tonight about a massive storm heading our way.
We're live here at the Galen Center.
What would y'all do if you had $2.5 million?
Music, art, and women empowerment.
And she put her stamp on Big Ten history.
Those are men swimming like fish.
Thanks for watching.
Annenberg TV News.
You never miss an episode.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
So, live from the Halo is USC Annenberg's take on NPR's Tiny Desk concerts. This is like a platform for USC students and adjunct students just to perform and play their music for an audience.
Tomorrow marks May Day. Reporter Terence Holton is live in Koreatown with more on why some are protesting. Terence?
Hey guys, well, as you just mentioned, we're here in Koreatown outside the Philippine consulate, and as you can see behind me, an early May Day protest is taking place against the Philippine consulate. They feel a lack of support when it comes to wages, deportations, all of those sorts. Now I'm going to bring in Lester Ramos right here. Lester was a part of a delegation who went inside the delegation to show his frustrations. Now Lester, can you tell me, what were you guys talking about there? What were you guys telling them?
Yeah, first of all, I will go to consulate to have a dialogue with them to raise our different issue and concern regarding the experience of migrant workers, especially Migrante South Bay, right now with the organization I belong. We have a campaign of Amity Workers, Amity and Amity Wage Step campaign, which is a group of caregivers that victim of wage step in a Filipino employer. So we are here to discuss them that the employer already cited with Department of Labor, which is 2.3 million. And then I will ask the consulate, what we stand about it, what you're gonna do. So we have a demand for consulate that we raise. Actually, the demand is like, for example, it's like how you, please give statement or warning to other Filipino not to work this kind of employer that committed a wasted. Secondly, is like investigate this Filipino employer and be sure that that what the consulate can do to the victims of the wasted. And and also raise a different issue, a different experience of migrant workers, or experience not only wasted but human trafficking, domestic violence, and everything.
Well, thank you very much, Lester. I really appreciate your time. Annenberg Media will have all sorts of coverage regarding May Day in the upcoming times. Until then, guys, let's send it back to you in the studio.
Welcome back to Advocacy in Action, a series where we highlight organizations around Los Angeles that support people with disabilities. Today, we take a dive into the world of adaptive sports. The Adaptive Sports Fair by Angel City Sports features sports like wheelchair basketball, wheelchair football, and even wheelchair fencing. Alvin Malave has been coaching the wheelchair football team and helps people get their start in adaptive sports.
These are high-level athletic outlets for these individuals with physical disabilities, for them to still be competitive, to be a part of a team.
This event was specifically for people impacted by gun violence, like Brianna Wheeler. She was shot in the back in 2015, leaving her partially paralyzed. She's found family within the wheelchair community.
I think it can be very isolating and lonesome to think of yourself as disabled. And I think sometimes it's like we don't want to join because that will make it too real. In reality, it changes your life so much.
Like Brianna, Andrew Skinner also had a life-changing injury. Shortly after graduating college, a snowboarding accident left him paralyzed from the neck down. His journey inspired him and his wife Kirsten to start the Triumph Foundation in 2008. They help people with spinal cord injuries know that they're not alone.
Kind of the heart of Triumph is visiting people after they recently acquired a disability, whether it's a spinal cord injury or some other illness or injury that causes them to have a long-term mobility challenge, and we bring out care packs that are full of resources and information that I wish someone would have told me about after I got hurt.
The Triumph Foundation changed Brianna's life.
They really gave me my confidence back. They turned my life completely around, and I went from not wanting to live to finding a purpose and not wanting to change anything because of that.
So Daniella, for the past 3 weeks, we've taken a look at these different organizations helping people with disabilities. What are some of the things that stood out to you from this reporting?
Yeah, so we've looked at the Convalescent Aid Society in Pasadena, the iBook Club of Pasadena, and now Angel City Sports and the Triumph Foundation. And one thing that's really stuck with me is just how often people with disabilities have to carve out their own community. I think a lot of people, when thinking about something like a regular book club, might not realize that it's not inclusive to people of all abilities. And so I think it can sometimes be surprising to people who are able-bodied of how often people with disabilities are overlooked. So I hope that this series could bring some more awareness.
Absolutely. Thank you for all that amazing reporting. Last night, rapper Ye's long-lost album, Donda 2, was released on streaming services. Today, we asked Trojans if they think his new music can help prepare his controversial career.
Half the problem is that he just refuses to acknowledge where he's hurt, different communities of people, even his own, so maybe he should start there by saying sorry.
Right now, he's maybe releasing a little too much secular music and a little too much sinful music, but yeah, maybe come back to Jesus, Kanye.
I think the Taylor Swift thing he did before was recoverable, but I think this has now been like 2-3 years of anti-Semitism.
The album is a sequel to Donda, released in 2021. However, new music is unlikely to distract from Kanye West's publicly condemned hate speech on X. A professor of crisis communication spoke with us today about the likelihood of his success.
The fact that he's releasing music is good for his brand. The question I have is who's willing to stream his music? People just aren't going to want to listen to his music, no matter how quality or catchy it is as a result of the things he has said in the past.
The album was out on streaming services under the artist name Donda, but was taken down for West's failure to pay the producers.
Today on campus, it was a little bit cloudy, then a little sunny. We'll toss it over to Kat to hear more about what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Thank you so much, Daniella. Hello, USC, and welcome back to our last Weather with Kat segment of the semester. I'm your host, Kat Yee. Let's take a look at our current conditions. It is currently cloudy and 64 degrees outside with 71% humidity. Now let's see our 5-day forecast. Tomorrow will be cloudy with a high of 72 and a low of 54 degrees. Friday will be sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 54 degrees. Saturday will be cloudy with a high of 65 and a low of 55 degrees. Sunday will be rainy with a high of 63 and a low of 51 degrees. And Monday will be cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 52 degrees. Now let's see our song of the week. The cloudy forecast for the week ahead really represents how I'm feeling right now. So our song of the week is Where'd All the Time Go by Dr. Dog. I cannot believe this is our last show together, so I want to give a quick shout out to our amazing seniors and grad students, both in the studio and in the control room. ATVN won't be the same without you. That's all for the weather. Dominique, over to you.
King James, Big Rames, Summer Olympic Games, Wolves in 5. Is there trouble in Titletown? A kaleidoscope of blue and red hues will take over UCLA on Sunday for the annual Battle of LA on the track. Plus, the Fab Five from ATVN Wednesday's anchor team hits the track. Stay tuned for more. Sports is next.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Kamyar Moradi.
And I'm Dominique Williams.
To the city of Los Angeles, I sincerely apologize for the story I'm about to run. Your Los Angeles Lakers are on the verge of a gentleman's sweep tonight following a Game 4 116-113 loss to Minnesota. From 1 minute, Dorian Finney-Smith drains a 3 to put them up 2 late in the fourth, to a mysterious eye in the sky, giving Anthony Edwards 2 game-sealing free throws. As tumultuous as this series has been for the Lakers, like a toxic ex, I'ma keep tuning and hope this time is different. You can catch tonight's game at 7 p.m. Pacific on TNT.
It's that time of the year for USC track to continue its reign of Who Runs L.A. The Trojans will travel to Westwood for the annual USC-UCLA dual meet this weekend. A kaleidoscope of blue and red hues will take over on Sunday as both the men and women's teams swept the Bruins last season in the finale. The dual meet will mark the final regular season competition before USC returns to the Big Ten championships in 2 weeks. Speaking of track and field, it's only right for the A-team to finally touch grass, and as a former D1 track athlete, it was a treat to coach them along the way.
I don't know what I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
Exercise is getting old.
Exercise is getting old.
Want to be big backs when y'all grow up.
Oh.
That what I'm hearing?
My back is already big.
I feel attacked.
We are running 100 meters. That means we are running straight that way.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So pick your lane, pick your lane.
Coach Williams, the line is curved. What do I do?
Son, you will stop at the end of that line. You will not go around the curve. Sebastian!
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Get in formation. Ready? Are you marked? Set, go! I don't like it. Nope. Let's get back to the, Run it back. Lord have mercy. Who recruited these athletes? Are they even athletes? I don't know.
I'm Makayla Adberg here from Annenberg Media. I'm here with Coach Williams. Coach Williams, what do you think about your runners today?
You know, I was actually kind of worried when they first stepped on my track, but after, going through some foundational basic techniques, I'm kind of ready for them to see what they're going to show out on the track on this 100-meter sprint. And we'll see who's the best of the best.
And you said you called them something today. You called them the fabulous, the
Fab Five
okay,
of ATVN Sports. I don't know, ATVN News. All the things, because we're on ATVN, we got the best team. On your mark. Get set. Go. I see Kamyar leading. Lucca. Lucca's in there. Lucca's up. And you see the back top.
It's too easy. They thought it could beat me. Are you crazy? I jogged the last 50. Team Wednesday on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team Wednesday! What did she do?
Well, what a treat that was, and we have the champion here, Kamyar.
The champ is here. Listen, I gotta keep this quick. Shout out to all the sports anchors out there. I beat news, I beat politics, and I beat weather. Don't ever doubt me ever again. That's all for ATVN Sports in the final time of this semester. I am Kamyar Moradi.
And I'm Dominique Williams. Now over to Daniella as she serves in style.
I might have to hire Coach Williams to be my personal trainer. Next up, we'll be looking at the biggest annual fashion event in New York City. Stay tuned.
And welcome back to our segment Spotlight, where we focus on entertainment news. Today, we're looking at the Met Gala.
The Met Gala is an arts fundraiser, is best known as a star-studded high fashion event. The theme of this year's Met Gala is tailoring black style. The hosts are A$AP Rocky, Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, Pharrell Williams, and Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour.
Man, I can't wait to see, who's stepping out into those entrants and stuff like that. But there is rumbles about, Blake Lively not being in attendance, and she has been the queen of the last few Met Gala looks.
I have no idea who's going to be queen this year. Dominique, who are you looking most forward to seeing this year's Met Gala?
Well, the Beijing queen herself, Ms. Rihanna Fenty, she's always been killing the Met Galas. And her man, A$AP, she got to step in style with her.
Shout out A$AP. Can't wait to see his style too.
What about you? Who else are you looking forward to?
Oh, I'm most definitely looking forward to see him. But yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kamyar Moradi.
And I'm Dominique Williams. Now back over to Daniella and Sebastian.
Before we wrap up our last Wednesday show, we wanted to give a few thank yous. First off, we want to shout out all of our faculty for their constant support. Huge shout out to Stacy, Barbara, Mallory, Tom, Bobby, and Chris.
We also want to thank all of our incredible control room members and our director, Marina Knapik, and assistant director, Makayla Eidelberg. Also, a huge shout out to all of our MJs and volunteers.
And finally, thank you to our incredible producers, Alea, Marco, and James. And we're all incredibly grateful for our amazing executive producer, Vincent. Thank you for always bringing the fun to the Wednesday team. And of course, thank you to all of our seniors who've been the heart of this show. And thank you for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, for the last time, I'm Daniella Lake.
And I'm Sebastian Soto. For more coverage, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.